Welcome back to Building on a Budget Models. I'm Thomas, and this is the full build video of the Alfa Romeo 159 Alfetta in 1/24 by Mr. Craft. This kit was originally by Smer and had also been released by Merit. I did an unboxing video which you'll see above. Now there was a lot of flash on this, which isn't surprising since it's close to 70 years old, this mould. However, a lot of the details were still pretty good. I used my clippers to remove a lot of the flash and then the sanding sticks to try to smooth down the edges. I also used this Tamiya kind of panel scriber to dig in some of the mould lines for the vents on the side of the bodywork to make them a little bit deeper. The engine casing goes together quite easily, although there are only pins and holes for some parts. Also tried to scratch away some of the mould lines. This was then painted in Revell iron. You could also really easily add wires to this straight 8-cylinder engine. This was also painted in Revell iron. Then the tops of the casings were done in semi-gloss black, which clearly hadn't dried here since I rubbed a bit off. I think this is the supercharger here. It's in two parts, and then it's stuck onto the side. I used a little bit of silver for the screw heads and oil caps on top. I really like that these details are included on such an old kit. Did it for the other side as well. I chose not to add injection wires in the end. Now there's a pin here on the front which I actually thought was part of the sprue, so I cut it off. However, with super glue this still fits on quite nicely. Just try to position it as carefully as you can. Now the bodywork, as you can see here, is moulded in red. Unfortunately there are some rough edges and this will leave quite an obvious seam when you put it together. I tried to sand these as flat as possible because I knew that this seam would be visible. There's also some raised panel lines, 2 circles on either side of the back and the petrol filler cap. I decided to sand off these 2 circles as I hadn't seen this feature on the 1950 car. These clip into the paint stand quite easily like this, and this isn't so bad because these bits need to be silver rather than red. After using some fine white primer, I then used gloss enamel red spray paint from Wilko. I was pretty happy with how this turned out. It had a really nice sheen. I left it for a few days to cure. Now then the gearbox and this drive shaft fit into the end, and these were painted in iron as well. I used the same colour for the axles, and there is leaf spring suspension which sticks into 2 very small holes, and the same for the rear wheels. The length of these is slightly different, so you're going to have to compare them as these parts aren't numbered. Then used some flat aluminium to do the kind of dashboard. There was quite a bit of flash on this, so I gave it a good sanding beforehand. And also aluminium to do the centre of the steering wheel. I then used some semi-gloss brown from Revell around the edge. I later added a few more details, as I'll show you later on in the video. Now I found some spare decals for the dials, as this kit didn't come with any, but they were the wrong size. so I had another look later on to find some more. However, the printed Alfa Romeo badge did work quite well in the middle. Pretty happy with how the bodywork looks when it goes together. What I did was I deliberately didn't spray any paint onto the grille here to keep the details, because they are quite minimal, I'd say, probably because of the age of the tooling. I basically dry brushed aluminium onto the radiator grille. Tried to use as little as possible so as to not remove any of the details. Around the bottom, the grille details have kind of lost their definition over time, so a bit of masking here really helps. Now, I printed off these hoops to go around the grille. Alfa Romeo used different colours and patterns to distinguish the cars when they were driving. This dark blue was used by car number 2, Nino Farina, in the 1950 British Grand Prix, first ever Grand Prix in the Formula 1 World Championship. Now, the numbers were a bit rubbish and they fell into lots of pieces, so I had to act fast, and cotton bud and some setting solution and water really helped me kind of put them together as quickly as I could. This kit also came with number 6, which I think was used by Juan Manuel Fangio at a French Grand Prix. There are aftermarket decals for sale at websites such as Indicals, which you can get for different drivers of different Grand Prix as well. Might be a recommendation if you can't print decals yourself, because these aren't particularly good. Happily though, they do stand out quite well against the red. Now these quadrifoglio, I think that's how you say it, the cloverleaf symbols were quite nicely printed and they went on really nicely. Had a bit of difficulty with this homemade decal here. I'd printed out a few of them just in case, so that was good. Pretty happy with that. Now the number 2 here, split, which was handy because it needs to go partly over the engine cover, so I just used that to my advantage. Now these crests and this blue section here I put onto foil to add later. Fortunately, I had lots of spare instruments displays, so I added some here. Now fortunately, enough definition of the radiator grille was left for me to use some black panel line accent, and I was really pleased with how this turned out. There are several 3D printed versions which you can buy if you don't like how this one looks, but I wanted to keep this a real sort of budget build. This whole kit was less than £10, so I wanted to see how much I could do without buying anything extra. Now the badge on the front is red on chrome, so I cut out a circle of the aluminium foil and then put the red Alfa Romeo badge onto the top, onto the front. No badges came with this kit. And then the same with this blue section here that covered part of the radiator. This seems to be present for some of the Alfettas and not all. Not sure why, but the aluminium foil does a really good job of simulating this. I'm pretty happy with how it looks so far. Tell me what you think in the comments. Should I have got the aftermarket decals? I then used some Humbrol brown leather paint for the seat, and I did the floor in aluminium before test fitting the engine. Now, the wired wheels come with these strange little circles moulded from clear with raised details, and they're fine if that's the only thing you have, but I'm not really very keen on them. So I found on eBay some scrap parts of 132 classic cars, and they had these wire wheels. However, I also decided to try wiring my own. I used some fishing wire, and I wasn't very happy with the results. This process is a lot more difficult, and these wheels aren't particularly good for this. Let me know what you think in the comments. I've kept the board, I might try it again in the future, but I scrapped this after doing just one. So I decided instead that I needed to sand the axles down a little bit and drill the plastic wired wheels a little wider. And I was pretty happy with how these look. They look a little toy-like. Let me know what you would have done in the comments. The ends of the brake drums were done in matte black so that they would show the holes from the brake discs. They're not really discs actually. I then used some of these circle templates to mask off the centre of the wheels, having painted them silver. This worked okay, but with brush painting it's difficult to ensure that no paint gets underneath the mask. I just used some Tamiya matte black for the tyres. It's not bad, and since it's only just happened, you can use a cocktail stick to scratch away some of the excess. Then used some extra thin glue to put in the engine and the kind of dashboard, and some Revell gloss clear to go on the instrument displays to look a bit like glass. If you can't tell which axles are which, the ones with the kind of turning mechanism go at the front. Gear stick slots in really nicely. These details are really good for such an old kit. And then a little bit of panel line accent can highlight the kind of slots for the gear stick. Now then, watching a video that I saw Tom do on the Scale Modelling channel, I decided to have a go at adding a bit of wood grain effect to the steering wheel. So I dry brushed on some black, and then I mixed together some orange with some gloss clear, since I didn't have clear orange, and then I dabbed this on the outside of the wheel. I think it looks okay. I will get some orange clear though to try this again in the future. It's always worthwhile watching other people's videos on YouTube to see what you can learn. I didn't glue the steering wheel in case I needed to take it out again. Now, I did the exhaust in anthracite, which gives it that kind of aged metal look, but then in order to heat-proof section of it, I covered it in the aluminium tape. There's then a part where it doesn't go all the way around, so simply by using my craft knife I was able to cut that really accurately, and I was really pleased with how this looks. Doesn't look particularly smooth, but then in real life this was a pretty rough and ready build. I did the same with the mirrors here and covered those with aluminium foil as well. And then the window fits very, very carefully into this tiny little frame. I used some Bob Smith Super Gold Plus for that. I gave this several test fits before gluing it together using super glue, and what can really help secure it is, as well as a bit of gentle pressure, if you attach the nose cone, because it will clamp the bottom and top together. Wheels go together like that, and because of the extra spokes, I needed to remove this part of the front of the wheel. The wheels don't really rotate anymore. They would do, but you know, that doesn't really matter. Now the spinners on the edge, I also put some aluminium foil on those, which I think looks pretty nice. There's a couple more details to the engine, including this radiator here. I chose not to wire it in the end. And then the nose cone goes over the front. And the exhaust goes in the side really nicely. Again, just a little dab of super glue on the tips really helped here. Finally, I did the clips that go on the bonnet in silver, and I added a few little dots of chrome around the outside to be pins. And there we are. Just finish off with some final pictures, and let me know what you think in the comments. I do recommend this. It's very good value. It's certainly very different to things I've made in the past, and there is a lot of room for putting your own spin on it. Thanks a lot for watching. Please do comment, like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.